Hello, outstanding and dynamic kids. You're welcome to another exciting theme. Our first lesson is on culture.
Now we're going to look at the meaning of culture and also some aspects of culture. Now, culture is the total way of life of a group of people. Now, the way people do their things, the language they speak, the food they eat, the dressing also tells us what cultural group they come from. Now, the aspect of culture we're going to look at here is food, dressing, greeting, and so on. So, we're going to begin with the first aspect of culture, which is food. Now, under this, we're going to be looking at some cultures and the kind of food they eat. The first one here is the Yoruba cultural food. We're going to look at the food in the Yoruba culture. Now, this does not mean that other cultural groups do not eat it, but it is mainly for this particular culture. Now, the first one here is the Yoruba. They eat, their cultural food is amala and ewedu soup. This is the picture of amala and ewedu soup from the Yoruba culture. Now, the Igbo cultural group, one of their food is abacha, which is known as the Nigerian African salad. It is also very delicious. Then another Igbo traditional food is nkwobi. Very delicious. Now, other tribes, other cultural group also eat it, but it is mainly for the Igbos. Now, we'll look at the Delta cultural food. It is starch and owo soup. Sometimes the starch goes with banga soup. It is the Delta cultural food. Now, the next aspect we move on to is dressing. All cultural groups do not dress the same. The way the Delta dress is different from the way the Benin's dress. The way the Hausa dress is different from the way the Igbos dress. So all cultures do not dress in the same way. So let's look at some dressing in different culture. Okay, the first one we're going to look at is the Delta dressing. You can see the picture. The man is putting on the blouse and the woman is putting on blouse, a tie, and two wrapper. So that's for Delta. Then this is the Hausa dressing. Then the Hausa, you can see that the Hausa dressing is quite different from that of the Delta dressing. So all cultures do not dress the same way. Now, another tribe we have here, or culture we have here, is the Igbo. You can see also that the Igbo dressing is different from that of the Hausa dressing. And the next we have here is the Yoruba dressing. It is also quite different from that of the Delta dressing or Hausa dressing. The next we have is greeting. All cultures do not greet in the same way. When the Yorubas greet, they prostrate. The Igbos greet, they kneel to greet. So all cultures do not greet in the same way. Now, this is a picture of the Yoruba greeting. You can see the man prostrating while the lady is kneeling. Now, this is another form of greeting. Then we also have other types of greeting like this. It's popularly done in the Igbos. They greet this way where they use their staff or whatever to greet. So this is popularly the Igbo greeting. So you see, all cultures do not greet the same way. Okay, and this is the popular greeting, COVID-19 greeting. I hope you can still remember that. So funny. Okay, now we'll move on to the next, which is the family system. All families are not the same. Some families, they have two wives, others they have one wife. Now, this is the monogamy family, whereby a man marries one woman. This is the monogamy family. Then the next one is the polygamy family or polygamous family where a man marries more than one wife. So you see, all families are not the same. Okay, the next we have is education. Education is the right of all children. Education is your right as a child, but in some cultures in the past, not all children had a right to go to school to acquire knowledge. In the past, some cultures do not allow female children to be educated. They say their place is in the kitchen. But these days, that's not the case. Female and male children go to school. Then also, in the past, the kids who went to school had no notebooks to write on. They write on slates, just as you can see on this picture. The child writes on the slates. But that's not the case today. You go to school, you have your notebooks and your textbook, and you write very well. Now you can see this slide, also this picture. The learning environment is not perfect, but that was the case in the old time. But these days, you can see female children going to school. They have the right to be educated just as the male children. Then also, these days, in almost all cultures, learning environment is conducive. You can see the learning environment perfect the children, male and female, in school. Okay, now the next aspect of culture is religion. A means of worship. Okay, now in Nigeria, we basically have three religions, which are the traditional religion, the Muslim religion, and the Christian religion. So this is the traditional religion, where they worship in a shrine by the chief priests. Then this is the Christian religion, they worship in church, and this is also the Muslim religion, where they worship in the mosque. Okay, now there are also other aspects of culture which we did not discuss intensively. We have the language, a way of communicating. We have hairstyle. Not all cultural groups have the same hairstyle. Respect for other people's belief. So we are not of the same culture, so we need to respect other people's belief. Then we also have unity and peace. Now, before we go, let's look at some interactive questions. 1. People in Nigeria wear light clothes because of dash. A. Hot weather. B. Cold weather. C. The nice material. So what do you think is the answer? Here the answer is A. Nigeria weather is hot, so people wear light clothes. Then number 2, the family with one wife is called a dash family. A. Polygamous. B. Monogamous. C. Friendship. The right answer to this question is B. Monogamous. So families with one wife is called the monogamous family. Okay, yeah, this is where we'll draw the curtain for today. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you attempt your quizzes and assignment. Bye.